Dear international leaders and human rights defenders, I am reporting to you as the Executive Director of the Thai Alliance for Human Rights, which is a non-profit organization based in San Francisco, about the barbaric and brutal abuses by the Thai junta based on a testimony by a Thai human rights lawyer given on September the 10th, 2014 via his Facebook. The statement will be translated into English. In September 2014, the Royal Thai Army has kidnapped 3 individuals whose relatives have been threatened not to leak the news to the press. Earlier, as many as 14 people were captured, detained, and tortured. After the brutal torture, they have been imprisoned, charged with serious crimes via the military court, denied bail, and rights to appeal. The barbaric torture, as far as I have been informed while serving as a lawyer for victims of many human rights abuses, has been conducted in the following ways. 1. The army officers insert a naked electricity or power cord wrapped with button into the victim's anal hole, then wrap it around the penis, and then charge it with electricity. As a result, a victim has become impotent and disabled. 2. The army officers, masked, enter the cell, stamp, kick, punch, and hit the detainees. 3. The army officers suffocate the victims by wrapping their heads with a plastic bag. 4. The army officers put a rifle in the victims' mouths, moving the bolt, and threaten to kill them unless they confess. 5. They dig a hole in preparation for burying the victims alive and force them to confess. Based on my research, many of the accused have been detained longer than the legal limit. They then have extended the detention, claiming that the detainees have consented. However, when the lawyer approaches the officers for a visit, they do whatever they can to avoid it and even prevent the visit. All the above information has been included in the report by the Lawyers for Human Rights. I think this is an organization. I personally have no petitions against these human rights violations. The hearts and minds of the abusers are far too brutal than any principle can explain. I am writing this note as an evidential testimony that once in my career as a human rights lawyer, I am fully informed about the sufferings of these political prisoners, but I fail to prevent or stop them from happening. I am so sorry, and I believe that my colleagues working on human rights also share my sentiment. My friends from around the world, the military junta has seized power, robbed the power from the people. They are now trying to legitimize themselves. They have already transformed into some sort of government. They have the cabinet, they have the parliament, they have the people to serve in them. But the Thai people are now suffering They disagree, but they cannot voice their opinion. They disapprove the actions by the corruptive military junta, but they cannot do anything. They are so helpless. But worse than that, the abuses that are taking place in Thailand right now are becoming more subtle, at the same time more brutal. I've heard reports from people on the ground who've been hunted, whose friends and colleagues in their circles have been taken away. We need to help people in Thailand. They are helpless now. They are desperate. I don't know what to say. It is overwhelming. I do share the sentiment by this lawyer. I've been informed so much about what's going on in Thailand, but nothing can be done by the people in the country. Politicians and people who may be in the power to help the people have also been threatened. I was always wondering why people seem so submissive. They know that the bunch of jerks all ganged up against the elected government led by Miss Yingluck Shinawatra. They know fully well that the gang worked together collaboratively in order to set a pretext for the coup d'etat. And they know fully well that the coup leaders came in power in order to seize power from the people and to manage the democracy using their own formula and at their own will. But then I have been wondering why Thais do not show their dissent. Do they like what is happening in the country? Why do people keep so quiet? I believe the testimony by this one lawyer who has been working with human rights victims probably can explain many things and has definitely removed the doubt in my mind. The military regime has been barbaric, brutal, and highly abusive. Please help people in Thailand. Please do whatever you can to help them. Thank you.